Started. Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome, welcome to another very special episode of Cheap Shots. It's May 4th, right? Because tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo.
it's Quattro de Mayo
Yeah,
quarter.
may the 4th be with you, whatever. Here on the Props Network, thank you to our producer, Zach, who reminds me that we are on the Props Network indeed, which is all well and good until Micah and Luther start talking about inappropriate stuff, and then they wish that we didn't mention where this was happening. No
Oh,
one wants their brand name associated with us. Anyway, Luther, it's been a couple weeks. I guess we'll do a little NBA, a little NFL draft. Um, oh yeah, what is this here? That's right. It was 25 years ago that our very own Luther Broughton was drafted in the 5th round out of Furman by the Philadelphia
25
Eagles.
years ago.
25.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, when someone asked me and I was like, yeah, 97, and I was like, wait, what year is this? And they're like, 2022. And
You
I'm
start
like,
doing the math.
oh my God, it's a quarter century since I got drafted. That just means I'm old.
Wu Tang Forever is now 25 years old, right? That was 97.
Wu-Tang Forever is 25 years old, bro.
I
Yeah.
just saw they did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which the rules for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is you have to be 25 years after your first release. Rage
Oh,
Against the Machine didn't get in. How are they not in?
look, these Hall of Fame situations, like I don't even like debate those. Like people like go crazy for those, especially basketball, and they'll pitch a fit when they see some guy who made the Basketball Hall of Fame who's not one of the top 20 players of all time. And I'm like, have you seen the Basketball Hall of Fame? It's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's
And it's different. More guys are getting in than the NFL. It's more exclusive. The NFL is more exclusive, and that's fine.
even that isn't anymore.
I mean, it's fine
What,
enough.
I know, but when you get the way we are now with the passing league, you get these wide receivers with pinball numbers, and you're like, were you that great, or were you just really the beneficiary of a
Yeah,
time when no one can touch you?
then look at some of the older guys who got in with their numbers. Lynn Swan. I
Lynn
mean,
Swan never had a 1,000-yard season. I don't think that
come
gets you
on.
in.
But he's in.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, so I mean, just the numbers are gonna be higher. So, and that's why less guys are gonna get in, and they're gonna just keep to the Lynn Swans, and you're gonna be. When Lynn played, they didn't pass a lot. When this
Right.
guy played, they passed a lot. Was he better? There it's and that's what that way is subjective. Then it's more games nowadays too. But I
But that's
mean,
the fun of sports. That's why they have shows like
right.
this and fans call in and stuff like
And
that.
it sucks because you see some of the voters who are like, who they're talking and they just don't like a guy. And it's like, why do you have a vote? Because you wrote for 30 years. Like, why do you have a vote then if you just don't like a guy and you're not going to vote him in? Like, whatever. I don't like any of the Cowboys. But don't tell me Emmett Smith isn't a freaking Hall of Famer. That would be
Right.
stupid. That would be
No,
really stupid.
no, I get it. I get it. Have you been watching any of the NBA playoffs?
Of course, man. I'm a basketball junkie.
I know it was kind of I was more setting you up to speak as opposed to really caring if you watch the NBA playoffs.
No,
I don't really care.
I love basketball. I love watching basketball. But what I do hate now, and I know ever since the concussion lawsuit, everyone is trying to pre-legislate against a fucking lawsuit. Everything is a flagrant foul. Everything. It's like, look, that was a hard foul,
You're
right?
talking about Draymond, right? Probably.
No,
Mm.
that if we had done the show 2 days ago before that happened, I would have been talking about this. E- They review all the guys just do like this now. As soon
Yeah.
as they get touched, they fall out and they grab their face. And
Hmm.
you can see some of them winking to the camera after they say,
Turning into soccer.
right, we're going to review this for a hard foul. And I'm like, dude, so every time you get like hit in the head unintentionally, and I know they're clear that it's not about intent, But you could go for a block. The guy moves the ball, and you happen to hit the guy on the face. They're giving them flagrant fouls, dude.
But you know what? To your point, though, Luther, you
You're
know what?
watching the game, and you know what a flagrant foul is. I run up under you and push. That's a flagrant foul.
Low bridges,
if I go for a block and you're good enough to move the ball and whatnot, and I happen to hit you on the head, it's just not a flagrant foul.
Right.
In Draymond's situation, that was a reputation foul. Listen, did he hit him in the face? Yes. He didn't hit him that hard. Did he grab his jersey? Yes, he did. But he was grabbing, he ended up hooked into his jersey, and then he tried to hold him up. I'm not a Draymond fan. I'm not a Warriors fan. I'm not an apologist for those guys. But I'm like, come on. He's
certainly not a flagrant 2.
But here's what kills me about the officials. They go a wind up. What wind up? He's going for the ball. They're acting like the guy is just doing like this. They keep saying there's a wind up. Like, dude, have you ever played? Who made these rules? Have you ever played ball before? There's no way, because when you're full speed and running at a guy and going for a block a shot, it's gonna look like you're winding up at some. I hate when they come back and say there was a wind up, there was a hit, and I'm like, there wasn't a wind up there. He's going for the ball. He's swinging for the ball, more than likely. Like, there are 1,000 cameras out there. These guys know some of the guys are dirty. Some of them make dirty plays. You want to kick those guys out. You don't want everything to be reviewed. Everything is being reviewed.
It slows the game down.
Everything is being reviewed, and every time something happens, you see the guys doing this. Shut up, Phoenix Suns. Team just whines. Every time something happens, you see them doing this. Like, what? We're not reviewing that. You got fouled.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Let's play ball. And speaking of the Phoenix Suns and your team, every time I see Mikal Bridges out there defending,
just not today.
I go, why did you? Where even is the guy that you traded him for?
Zaire Smith. He's in the MVP discussion this year. He's been really good. He's been really good. I haven't seen him, Luther. I haven't seen him since draft day.
Dude.
And when they drafted Mikal Bridges, I thought, okay, I don't get into the local connection, but he is a Nova guy, and his mom does work for the Sixers, and it all was perfect. He was the type of defender they wanted. Everything was perfect, and I was happy for 5 or 10 minutes. And they traded him for Zaire Smith, who I admit I didn't know anything about. Like, you don't know who's going to be good, whatever. You have no idea. But it seemed dumb at the time, and it turns out it's really dumb. And the Sixers probably should be excited to even be where they are in the second round of the playoffs, because they botched that process so bad.
Dude, listen to me.
So bad.
I see some guys still talking about, well, they really weren't going to take Tatum anyways, blah, blah, blah. That's the mistake.
Okay, that's a mistake too, because you didn't and you could have. I heard one of the local radio hosts around here. They're like, stop with that, because they weren't taking Tatum. Boston was taking Tatum. I was like, you drafted ahead of Boston.
That's the mistake. Exactly.
Why do you think they handed you that pick to get Fultz?
You gave them stuff for that pick.
I know. It's like the Trubisky trade when they traded up to get Trubisky, and the Niners were like, yeah, take the number 2 pick. Go for it.
Right.
All yours.
All yours. Take him.
That was a mistake, but you have to go back. When was the last time you heard Jahlil Okafor's name? I mean, Michael Carter-Williams was one of the better picks. It's funny you were ragging on him, because he's one of their better picks.
Carter-Williams was rookie of the year. He was the 12th pick?
12, 13, something like that.
I'm not arguing those picks.
Right.
When you get a guy at 1 and Tatum and Ingram is on the board, right?
Yeah.
Was that the same year?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Say what you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ingram was the Simmons year.
Simmons year. But either way, like, guys are like, they're dying for Markel to be good so they can justify them not. And I'm so sick of people justifying it because they weren't going to take Tatum. That's your fault.
Yeah, what was your scouting department? And why did no one know that Fultz had like these shoulder problems and this weird shooting problem? It was bizarre. It's so bizarre. It was almost as bizarre as the
Dude
actually maybe more so
did
than the Bynum
nothing.
signing.
He did nothing to do much improve to have Washington make much improvement and make any noise.
And
So,
there's one other pick that what's his name from Kentucky that they blew the pick on, the rim defender that can't play offense. Who I actually would love as an Embiid backup. Nerlens Noel.
Noel Nerlens, yeah.
I mean, this is all the
they
process.
thought he was the next Anthony Davis. Right. And I'm like, just because he went to Kentucky, he's not the next Anthony Davis. Like, I hate that stupidity.
And while we're on the topic of the Sixers, I saw this headline, Luther, that you'll love. Are the Sixers in trouble without Embiid? No shit.
Who wrote that? My son?
I don't know. I think your son worked with Nelly on it.
Actually,
are the Sixers in trouble without Embiid?
No,
are you kidding me?
Actually, Cam would have sarcastically said, "What kind of question is that? He's their best player.
He's the best player in the NBA. He got MVP today."
That's what my son would have said. I'm telling you, Cam is a basketball junk. He would have said, "Dad, why are you asking that? He's their best player. He's probably the best in the league right now." He would have asked me, "Why are you asking that stupid question?"
Or he would have looked at you and said, "Dad, what's the highest level of education you've completed?"
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "Wow, this kid's really smart."
Dude, so speaking of him, I'll tell you him because he's so like unimpressed. I said, Cam, did you see John Morant's dunk last night? You know, the other night when he jumped over the guy?
Yeah, but which one? I mean, he's
No, the one where he
I know what you're talking
over
about.
the guy. Cam said, "Yeah, I've seen better," and moved on. I'm like, you're 8. How much better have you seen? He's like, "I've seen better." Just like that, and he moved on to whatever Lego he was building.
I think when that guy wrote the article about Embiid, he moved on to whatever Lego he was playing with.
Clearly he was working on Legos, but he was working on the thick Legos. He wasn't
the big ones.
Like like seriously, come on.
So the idea that the Sixers are going, I'm still hearing locally about, well, if they get Embiid back, it doesn't matter. I don't think you're good enough with Embiid. Certainly not to beat the Bucks or the Celtics. Maybe to beat the Heat.
Here's your problem: is that your second
stinks
is no longer superstar.
I don't know that he's a star. If you put a different jersey on him,
and I let you anybody. If you shave his beard and you don't know who he is, you're like, that guy is slow. He doesn't do a lot.
Luther, do you ever watch him? You're a basketball guy. You ever watch him without the ball?
He does nothing.
Nothing.
And thanks to Mike D'Antoni, that's his offense. You put one guy on the ball and you let him, dude. And the Hornets are interested in Mike. And I don't
like Mike D'Antoni.
I don't want Mike to come down here and tell LaMelo Ball that the ball is yours and do what you want.
No, because Harden took it for 23 seconds of every shot clock and then fired up a step back three, and that was the offense. He's not even taking those threes anymore.
He looks to the basket anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's slow, bro.
If you had Harden from 3 years ago on this team right now, you'd say, well, he could probably pick up the slack without Embiid, even though that's the crux of your team. It's not just that. And now you look not having Seth Curry, not having Drummond, and DeAndre Jordan. I don't think he can play another game.
DeAndre Jordan's corpse is out there.
He's terrible. And I heard he's a really nice guy, but
he hasn't been good in 3.5, 4 years. He's a good teammate, but he's no longer the rim protector anymore. He doesn't
score. He doesn't do anything.
He's
a negative
anymore. He's a coach.
And so your other option is this Paul Reed kid. I don't know if
he plays hard.
He plays hard. He's athletic.
And he's a backup.
He needs a lot of polish, and he's a fouling machine, Luther. He's 5 fouls 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, but that's what they brought him in for, energy. he's not going to be a difference maker with Embiid out. And it sucks because
Nobody is. I mean, really.
He's your guy.
I know.
Fuck, have him in the game.
The Embiid game when he got hurt?
Yes.
What, you think you're up 25 with 4 minutes left and it's a wrap?
Why are you in? So that's another problem.
I know. Why is he in the goddamn game? And he wasn't
Why
the
is
only
he in
starter
the
in
game?
that game, Luther.
He
This
was
is
the
Isaiah
only
Joe time.
starter. If
It's
you were
time to
so
put Isaiah
worried,
Joe in.
then have all the starters in. He should not have been in the game.
Nope. I mean, I don't like the people that say, well, you should have wrapped it up game 4 and 5. I was like, yeah, you didn't. That
But
doesn't
you
change.
didn't.
You didn't.
It doesn't matter. You could go full term every freaking series as long as you win them and you carry a trophy home.
Right. Right. Well, look, I do get that
Well,
if anybody needed a quick wrap series, it was the Sixers because Embiid still has the thumb problem. Even if he comes back with the Phantom of the Basketball opera stuff on his face, he's still got a bad thumb, and that was really, really bothering him in games 4 and 5.
Yeah.
The Sixers aren't going anywhere. I hate to tell you, I don't know if you blow the process up. I don't know. I don't know how you.
There is no process. I mean, you blow. What do you do here? There's no process.
All right, let me ask you,
dude. The problem with this team is you had good players, and one was a pussy, and you had to blow the team up. And you got Daryl Morey, and the only guy he wanted was a superstar who's no longer a star.
I know.
So
everyone in the Nets knew it.
Well, let me tell you something. You don't pay him.
No.
Dude, Joel Embiid is still talented enough to build around.
He's 28.
Built around him so.
I know.
Ben Simmons just ruined that, and you should have fucking traded somebody early in the season. Went out and got McCullough or Lillard and somebody else, but instead you thought you were going to get this huge haul for Ben Simmons.
Never did.
Would not even play. Like, dude, no one really, they didn't want that. And guess what? The Nets are stuck with that problem because it sounds to me like they want out of that deal as well.
Yeah, you want some crap? I got some crap. You want to swap it? Good. And you know what, Luther, can you answer something for me? Because I know that originally we got on this argument actually about this show months ago. They said Harden was going to opt in. Do the Sixers have to accept that? If he opts,
yeah,
keep the contract.
He's got to put player opt in.
So if he opts in, the Sixers have to take it?
It's a Harden opt-in, not a team opt-in. It's a Harden opt-in.
It's not an agreement.
Harden, they said he opted in, and Harden didn't opt in. So
Thank God.
He still has the option to opt in.
I know he does, but let's see if we can keep this going. There's no way he's going to make $50 million on the open.
Listen, dude, Harden, you should have hoped he opted in and have like 2 good games so the Kings can give you something for him. Because otherwise, you're going to have to sign him this offseason in order to trade him or possibly get anything from it. And you just gave up a lot for him, and he's going to think he holds the cards. Let me tell you something. I'm not signing Harden to a long-term deal at the cost that
I don't want him for another year, Luther.
And I'm not signing Kyrie to a long-term deal at his
he's
cost.
a headache.
I'm just not. You can call me crazy, and I might have given up a lot for these guys. I'm willing to say I'm gonna take my losses.
Yep, I agree.
I'll take my losses.
And whether or not you decide to trade Embiid is a organizational monumental shift of a decision that probably should stay for another show.
Go back and be shitty until you can build again. I wouldn't trade Embiid. Dude, Embiid's injuries now are just bullshit. Like, those aren't like, oh, he has bad knees.
Right.
Face broken and his freaking thumb torn up, and he's still playing.
I know.
Embiid's not the freaking problem.
No.
And it sucks. Because now what are you going to do? Trade him for who?
What would be an acceptable haul for him? I don't even know. No.
But you're not getting an Embiid.
I know.
So I'm saying, who are you getting? somebody else who makes that much money and is good.
So
And
somebody that you would want, and need for Embiid, I guarantee no one's given up. I don't even know what that person is,
but
but if you think
that's
that's fair
why
value for
I mentioned
I know.
I mentioned a star player who's still young. Anthony Davis, maybe the Sixers. I mean, the Lakers are ready to do something. I can't even think of anyone else because Cat, maybe like he's still a young big. Listen, I'm not comparing the players.
I know.
It's all about getting what you can get. There, you're not getting Joker from Denver.
No,
You're
for
not
anything.
getting him.
Not getting Doncic.
Uh, you're not getting Luca. I mean, who are you getting? Like well, but then again, we sit here and talk, and we've seen crazier things happen as well.
That's
So
very true. And let's not forget, Embiid is very, very, very desirable. Obviously, he's the MVP
and
of the league.
here's what the Lakers they give you Anthony Davis for Embiid, and you have to take Westbrook for one on his expiring deal, and they take Tobias. You know it's going to be some crazy shit like that. They go, all right, we'll take Tobias, and he's on a longer term deal, but you take our headache, whose deal is expiring. And that's what they do. You look at these deals and you go, why'd they do that? And then you look at the numbers and you go, that's why they did that.
That's hitting the detonation button at that point. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Russell Westbrook doesn't belong on any team with any aspirations of winning anything.
Dude, they were
He's
talking
done.
about the Hornets trading for him, and I'm like,
Why?
I lost my mind, and I also said I canceled my season tickets. Then I saw an article that was explaining why the Hornets would be an option, and it's because his deal's expiring, and it would kick out Gordon Hayward's longer term deal at 30 plus million because they got to sign Miles Bridges this year, and Westbrook is off the books next year, and they'll sign LaMelo. And I said that makes sense as to why you would want that contract.
Right. It's only a contract. You don't want the player.
It's a contract. You don't want the so that made sense.
Yeah.
But still, I was like,
so let's keep it. I want to keep it Philly here, but I want to move to the NFL draft because I haven't even talked. I didn't even text with you about the NFL draft. Yes, you did. You sent like inappropriate texts, I think, from Vegas.
Yeah, I was in the bed by freaking. Actually, I went out there, gambled for like a little while, and went and watched some Netflix. And I went and hung out with my old agent who had two guys who were potential.
I saw that. Yeah.
Guys. They ended up going 2 and 6, but I'm like, dude, I did not know you had both of those guys. So he had himself a night. And I'm sitting there because it's funny. It's his job. And all the NFL reporters are calling him, and you see the names, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's calling you.
That's pretty funny.
And it's cool because I had one of my friends with me, and that's not, I lived in that world for a little while, and it's not his world. And he's like, what the hell? Did he just say one of the guys from NFL Network? I'm like, dude, it's draft day, it's draft day, and he represents 2 of the top 10 guys.
Leak me something.
And leak me some information. So it was pretty cool, and but that's my guy, man. I've been friends with Mike like forever. We talk like once a week, and it was cool because you could see it happening. And at some point, he got a little nervous because Jacksonville, they were like, somebody in the building likes Hutchinson, and a lot of people like Walker, and he didn't know if he was going to have a number 1 pick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. So he has
Hutchinson is from Michigan.
Yeah.
And he kind of really wanted to go home, stay home.
Oh, I'll bet he was thrilled about getting taken by the Lions, other than the fact that he had to play for the Lions.
Went home.
Huh?
Icky from NC State. He's from Charlotte.
Oh, is he really? And
the
then
Vikings drafted him.
Pickett went to the Steelers at a
The
pick.
Pickett went to the Steelers, but that's not his guy. I don't care about that.
Oh, sorry.
His two top guys went home. That's awesome.
Yeah,
But I don't think Pickett is.
I
He
don't
played
know.
at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was just
I don't
making
think
local connections. I thought that's what we were doing.
No, the connection is those guys are from the place they got drafted, not that they played college there. They're actually from there.
Oh, well, that's good for them.
Jordan Davis is not from Philly. He's from here, and I am excited to have him.
Are you really?
Hell yeah.
Luther, explain this to me. Now, I will say this because I'm concerned. The guy's 340 pounds. He's had conditioning issues. He's had weight issues. Big fat guys don't last long over the course of a season. They wear down. And he hasn't shown that he's dying to be in shape and fit. Now,
Why do you know that?
could I be wrong?
How do
Completely.
you know that, though? The guy was huge.
Everyone and their mother says he's a 2-down player, Luther.
Okay. And
There is no 2 downs anymore in the NFL. 3 downs is passing.
okay, like the Eagles rotate their defensive line. We'll be fine.
Okay. Luther, I hope I'm wrong. Dude, I hope I'm wrong.
So who else did you want there?
Kyle Hamilton.
I could have dug Kyle Hamilton there, but the Eagles, you knew they were going to replace Fletcher Cox.
Hey, look, I have no problem with the position. I really don't. Anytime you add to your lines, I'm not going to cry about it. I worry about the negatives on him make me worry. If he really is an out of shape guy,
so my question is, like, have you seen him play?
The highlight stuff. I mean, I watched half a game of Georgia.
I've seen him play.
Oh, well, like next to him? Okay. No, you
like
haven't.
I've seen him play quite a bit.
Okay.
And gonna tell you, I'm not fucking disappointed, not even a little bit.
Good. I hope Luther, I hope you're right. I'm not trying to rain on everyone's parade and be like, this guy can't play. I'm saying
like it. You sound like
the red flags that he has are concerning to me. Like, I don't want a red flag on a guy. And not this isn't Jordan Davis. This isn't Jordan Davis.
So you've got a big old guy that you drafted, and his red flag is that he's big.
He's huge, Luther, and he has conditioning issues in the past. You're supposed to get ready for the biggest season of football of your life before the NFL draft.
Okay.
And he came in out of shape.
Came in where?
Luther, I've been listening to this crap for the last month.
Where? What are you talking about? Where did he come in out of shape?
In Georgia. They said he wasn't ready. He needed somebody said he needed like a nutritionist to follow him around to get ready for the SEC championship game.
Oh my God, because he's fucking enormous. And he's been fucking, he hired a nutritionist because he's enormous.
Okay.
This fucking guy runs like a 4.8.
4.7.
He dominates on the field.
All right. I hope you're right.
We just drafted Rager, who can't catch, who wasn't fast.
At least,
and we just drafted a run stopper who's big and can stop the run and can run.
I know, because the NFL is such a running league these days. Who runs the ball? Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. The Eagles run the ball, but he's on their team, so minus them.
What happens with a guy who can destroy the middle of the field? You can get singles.
I hope. Look, he's got to get upfield a little bit. I can't have a toilet clogger there.
Get upfield.
Okay. I know he splits double teams really well. Apparently,
he's big, fast, quick. He's going to be a problem.
I hope you're right.
He's going to be a problem. So
I was just glad for the first time in a long time that, besides last year with Devontae Smith, the Eagles make a first-round pick, and all the guys at the draft table are like flipping through their sheets, being like, "I had to find what paper he was on." Like, Jesus Christ, when was this guy supposed to go in the 6th?
I would have been happy with Kyle Hamilton, but we took another player.
That was the one I wanted. Who's
a stud. So I'm cool with that. In the second round, I actually wanted Nakobe Dean.
A lot of people did, and then for him to get him in the 3rd.
And the problem with him is apparently he's got a nicked up knee and pec. We're not fucking picking him for 1 year. Why did he drop so far for the? And I was asking Mike, and he was like, "Yeah, apparently he's got a pec that no one knew about."
Yeah, a
Oh,
shoulder or something.
oh
Yeah.
what? People have ACL injuries.
Yeah. He said he was going to be ready for
He's
minicamp this week.
also small.
So,
But have you seen him play football?
do you know why Ray Lewis fell to the bottom of the first round?
Because he's small.
Because he's small. Sam Mills, small. I don't care what size a guy. Can you play? Just get guys that can play.
No,
That's
sometimes you can't have a small guy playing in the middle. But this guy's exceptional. And
yeah.
also when you have a small guy playing in the middle, then you have a Jordan Davis in front of him.
Oh God, you have a real boner for Jordan Davis.
No,
Don't
I
you?
don't. I'm just fucking debunking your negativity towards him.
I'm not
I'm getting
negativing
that out of
things
the
here.
room. So
Oh,
then
you're
we
clearing the.
drafted a center to replace Kelsey, who used to be a tight end, which is amazing. He's super athletic.
I like the pick.
So then we drafted a tight
But
end.
before you get to that, before we get to Calcaterra, I was seeing that in the last 25 years, there's only one position in the NFL drafted in the first round for 25 years with a complete hit rate. When I mean a hit rate, meaning they got a second contract with that team, if that makes sense. And it's center. Think about it. Nick Mangold, Alec Wood, Travis Frederick. Not a ton of centers go high, but the ones that do almost always work out. So I was fine with that pick. Everyone was complaining. I'm like, where do you think Kelsey's going after this year? Not back to the Eagles.
Yeah, I knew nothing about him, and I read a little bit of stuff, and a lot of people like him. So whatever.
Fine. Yep.
I'm not some scout.
Yeah.
And then I'm begging for the Eagles to draft Justin Ross in like the 4th round, right? Come to find out, he was diagnosed, even with the spinal fusion, he was diagnosed with some other like bone disease that's supposed to get progressively worse. And a
Oh.
lot of teams took him off the board. That guy was a top 10 pick 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
His situation really stinks because he's like one of the good guys.
Yeah.
That stinks. But I mean, hopefully Andy does something with him. He signed with the Chiefs. But the Eagles got 2 guys I was dying for them to pick late. 2 corners.
The Clemson corner they guaranteed all the money to?
Yeah, $7,000.
Is that what it was?
They gave him the highest amount they've ever given to an undrafted guy as a signing bonus. Undrafted guys don't get a lot. And
I know, but I saw that headline and I was like, "Whoa!" They gave him 50,000.
They gave what's his name guaranteed money, the quarterback. They gave him. They guaranteed 300 for him. They didn't give him a huge signing bonus, which means he's going to make the team. But also Josh Jobe from Alabama. Dude, crazy, people excited over undrafted guys, but those 2 guys are going to want. I bet both of them make the team.
See, I don't know if you felt like this. A 5th rounder doesn't really count. When you get into 6th and 7th round, a lot of times agents tell their players you're better off going undrafted at this point because you can pick a situation better.
Situation, and so that is true. That's like the quarterback the Eagles signed. Like once he was I know he was sitting there going, please don't draft me. As soon as he went undrafted, there was a bidding war.
Didn't he go to Jacksonville?
No, he came to Philly.
Doug Peterson took one. The Eagles are supposed to get one of them. Doug Peterson.
Yes, the guy that we wanted, we got. We didn't think we were going to get him, so we went for that Ivy League kid. And then the guy who we wanted said, "Fine, I'm coming there," because we gave him 300 guaranteed. So then the other kid said, "Okay, I'm not coming. I know you got the guy you."
Oh, is that what? All right.
I'm going to Jacksonville. Which was smart,
Now, here's something else that bothered me about the draft. This is from recent days, and I'll tell you why it bothered me. A lot of people are super annoyed. And I heard RG3 going off about it today and a few other people that Ryan Tannehill came out. Obviously, the Texans took Malik Willis in the 3rd round. Yes. So Ryan Tannehill comes out and basically says, it's not my job to do
it. It is not his job.
So
it's not his job. And I hope they quit asking these quarterbacks that. Micah, I know I cut you off, and I know you probably have a point, but I had this conversation earlier, and you can see I'm riled up.
Micah, well, I was going to ask you about it.
The only position where you want one guy to play, It's not a linebacker where you got 3 guys playing. It's not a tight end where you could come in every other play or play 2 guys.
Or
It's
kicker
not
punter,
like
where it's
where
like,
you can play multiple guys. It's the position where you want one guy to play him to be an alpha. Why do you keep asking him that position if he's going to mentor the guy who wants to take his job? Why do you keep asking him that? I guarantee you Tannehill is going to help him just like any other position helps the guys in their room, on their team.
I think it's a dumb question.
He's not going to snub the guy. It's not Ryan Tannehill's job to mentor him.
But
It's the fucking quarterback coach's job.
Like you said, if there's others, then yeah, take him under your wing. He's coming for your job.
He's coming for your job.
Yeah. So, dumb question. I thought the answer was, as soon as he said it, I was like,
glad he
anybody that knows anything about football knows he said the truth.
I'm glad he said that.
RG3 was saying, well, if you're the leader of the team, it's your job to be the leader and blah, blah. I was like, okay, but we all know the truth, right? We all know the truth.
Without being a mentor, I'm not your mentor. Yo, coach so-and-so is the quarterback's coach. When you come in the meeting, I'm not going to pull your chair and tell you to get out. And when I see you do this, I'm going to be like, hey, listen, Malik, you can't wait that late to throw that one.
Yeah.
He's going to do that type of stuff, but it's not his job. And
Here's what bothered me the most about that, Luther. Here's what bothered me the most. In 2005, 6-ish, they asked Brett Favre the same question. And he said, it's not my job to get Aaron Rodgers ready. He's like, that's his job. No one said a word.
Oh, they said a word. People said things. Social media is more prevalent these days.
Fair enough.
A lot of people said a lot of things. I do remember that. And people said some things, not as much as today, because everybody wants to click, Micah. Because you get paid. You get paid media. Everybody wants to click. You're right. Brett said that, and he was right. And people were like, he's not even going to help the young guy. They were drafting him because Brett was getting old. Yeah. They were
and hadn't been great for several years.
Guess what? They just did the same thing to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they should have asked him.
They drafted a quarterback. So
yeah, well, they traded up to get Jordan Love after they yet again did not go get him weapons, and they didn't again this year, Luther. But they did get a second-round pick at wide receiver, which is funny because if you look at have you seen the Packers' second-round picks at wide receiver? Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams. I'd stick with the second round if I'm them.
Who his dad is?
Who?
Christian Watson.
Gabe.
Tim Watson.
No.
That's his son.
The safety?
Yeah.
No kidding.
That played for the Eagles for.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He missed the
Anthony Miller catch against Dallas. Yeah, I think he was released the following day.
Yep. He got drafted by the Packers.
Good for him. Yeah, there was a high second-round pick.
No. His dad.
Oh, was he drafted by the Packers?
Actually drafted Tim as well.
Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you watching for tonight? Sixers Heat. What do we got? What else we got? It's Dallas and Phoenix too tonight.
Yeah. Let's see.
Do we have some picks here on the Props Network?
Let's get some picks because my wife is texting me because dinner's ready. I thought I was out of practice.
Wait a minute. Whoa. What do we have here on my phone? She texted me. Oh, Zanetta, stop it. She is so. Oh my God. I know I'm not putting that on air. I'm not going to put it on air.
And I'm not going to turn this picture around of somebody in negligee whose initials are LW. So, listen. Who do you have tonight? Miami and Sixers. What's the spread on this thing?
I think I saw -7.5 was the last I saw. I have to take the Heat.
I have to take the Heat -7.5 at home. And James Harden looking like Luther Broughton Sr. out there. So
the Mavericks are at the Suns. This is game 2. I guess the Suns are up 1-0. I'm trying to find the spread on that. The spread is on every single game all over the internet except the one I have here on NBA.com. I actually, you know what?
All right, it's Phoenix -6. I'm taking
the Mavericks. I'm taking Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas. Dallas is not going to play as bad as they played early in that game, and they're going to pull some confidence from the way they ended game one. And look at, I call him Sloka because he plays at such a slow pace. He's so good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
You know what? I mean, we brought this up earlier in the show. I was going to make a point, but you were like hot about something. I don't even know what it was. I wonder if the diving and the flagrants has to do with the influx of immigrants in this league. Think about it. If you watch soccer, the Europeans and the other countries dive better than Americans. We don't dive that way.
It has everything to do with the rule change.
What did I say, Zach? I said the props network. Didn't I?
It has everything to do with the rule changes. And now the guys are seeing as soon as you get touched and you fall, you see LeBron do it all the time. They were like, the king gets it. I'm gonna go for it. But who knows, man? But yeah,
Dallas in the Heat tonight.
Taking Dallas in the Heat, and I'm hungry.
All right, so you go eat, and look, we'll see you guys next week. For Luther Broughton, I'm Micah.
Yes, I will see you next week because I'm coming up to visit your mom.
I had a feeling that was coming. And kiss my ass, and I will see you next week.
Later.